al-Baghdadi. And they did it in part thanks to a pair of stolen underwear. This is one of those stories so strange that only our chief breaking news correspondent, Trace Gallagher, can unravel it. He joins us tonight. Hey, Trace.
Hey, Tucker, it was apparently Kurdish-led forces who initially confirmed that al-Baghdadi was in a compound in northern Syria. The Kurds then began working with the CIA for several months, but last Thursday, the U.S. military began a 48-hour countdown clock because Baghdadi's next relocation was thought to be imminent. Now, as you said, the fascinating part, the reason the Kurds knew where Baghdadi was is because a Kurdish undercover operative was able to sneak into the terror leader's compound and steal a pair of his underwear. A rapid DNA test then confirmed with 100% accuracy that it was, in fact, Baghdadi. And a commander with the Kurdish-led Syrian Defense Forces told Fox News the Kurds also had an informant inside the compound during the raid. And the State Department has acknowledged the Kurds played a key role in the operation, though U.S. officials say the raid itself was conducted solely by the U.S. military. Al-Baghdadi was killed after he fled down a dead-end tunnel with 3 children and detonated a suicide vest. His head remained intact, allowing U.S. commandos to use biometrics, facial recognition, and near-instant DNA analysis to then verify his identity. But the identity of the dog who participated in the raid is still classified, and despite at least one news outlet releasing it. For those who think dog doxing is fine, a retired 3-star general says revealing the name could inadvertently reveal the handler's name and the military unit used in the raid, a big-time security concern, especially while the unit remains in theater. Tucker.
It's really a story with everything, Trace, from dog doxing to trapped by underwear. That's, by the way, why commandos go commando, so it won't happen to them. Trace Gallagher, thanks a million.
Yep.
Well, over the weekend, Congresswoman Katie Hill announced that she was resigning from Congress. She was caught in multiple affairs with people who worked for her. There's evidence she may have paid off at least one staffer to remain quiet about the whole thing. But according to Hill, she did nothing wrong. Only the right-wingers are to blame for what happened. Here's what she said.
This coordinated campaign carried out by the right-wing media and Republican opponents, enabling and perpetuating my husband's abuse by providing him a platform, is disgusting and unforgivable, and they will be held accountable.
Yep, the press largely agrees. So here was a lawmaker who had sex with her staffers, 22-year-old in one case, but that's okay. Criticizing her is the real crime.
I think there's a double standard on the Hill, which is one is that women are treated more strictly than a man. Our president gets away with so much more than Katie Hill.
Katie Hill had this very promising political future, but now her meteoric political rise has been cut short by what she calls a smear campaign of revenge porn.
There was nothing necessarily improper about this woman living her best life. It was the person who was the creep that attempted to humiliate her and literally make her lose her job that is the one who is problematic here.
This woman living her best life. We really are deep in the age of euphemism. I hope someone's keeping track of all this because it's just too great. This stuff can't disappear forever. We need to save it. Jennifer Van Laar was at the very center of this story, deputy managing editor at Red State, which broke the Hill story. She joins us tonight. Jennifer, thanks so much for coming on. So first to the legal part. The congresswoman, I think, is threatening to sue you because you all ran some pictures, one of her naked combing her staffer's hair, brushing it, another, I think, where she's smoking a bong naked with an Iron Cross tattoo on her crotch. She says that you didn't have the right to run these. Do you expect that she'll sue you?
I hope not. We haven't received any kind of indication from attorneys that she would, and I don't have any other comment on that.
So where do these pictures come from, by the way?
I'm not allowed to reveal my sources.
Yeah, not allowed. Well, I think from her statements, she appears to believe they come from her husband. So tell us why you think this was newsworthy. Why'd you run this story?
Well, the story was not the picture. The story was the multiple affairs with one of her Capitol Hill staffers, one with a campaign staffer that are illegal and unethical, depending on which one you're talking about. And the story was also campaign funds being used to facilitate these affairs and to possibly pay people off and keep them quiet. The story was binge drinking to making someone, a congresswoman, miss flights to and from Washington, D.C. there's a lot of other issues here that don't have anything to do with the photos, and they're being ignored.
To me, that sounds like a young progressive member of Congress living her best life. Just
I
kidding.
disagree.
If you, I'm sorry, that phrase just cracks me up. I can't control myself. So no, I mean, I guess it goes without saying.
She's YOLOing.
Yeah, she's. But if this were if the situation were reversed, it's very easy to see the MSNBC panel condemning this member were it a male conservative as a sex criminal. No?
Oh, absolutely. If it was a Republican or a man, especially a Republican man, they would be going after them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get too far out on a limb here. I'd just be totally blunt. I didn't feel especially threatened by whatever Katie Hill's up to in her spare time. Kind of a zany personal life, I'll say. But, I don't think it really hurt the Republic. But I'm wondering if this can be our new standard, where we decide, not to hassle people over, their personal weirdness. But the left won't keep to that standard, will they?
No, they absolutely won't. And I don't care what Katie Hill does in her bedroom either. I care that she holds to ethics standards that she votes for. Yeah. And I care that she holds herself to the same standard that she holds other people to.
Yeah. So how did you feel? I mean, she didn't use your name or the name of Red State, but I think she was referring to you when she blamed this whole thing on you as a right-wing website or her Republican opponents. What was your response to that?
Right. I mean, obviously she's in a bad place right now, and so I don't want to respond in kind. But of course, I didn't like being smeared as some kind of revenge porn peddler or vast right-wing conspiracy, because that's just simply not what happened.
Yeah. And I mean, the self-righteousness is a bit much. And by the way, can I just say, I know an awful lot of people on the right, and if any one of them were ever photographed naked, smoking a bong with an Iron Cross tattoo in their crotch, it would be on the cover of Newsweek.
Their careers are done.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't. Anyway.
Newsweek, Politico, everything.
Oh, yeah. It would be the screensaver of everyone in Washington. Anyway, good to see you tonight. Jennifer, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
So we often tell you about what's going on in California, our biggest state, physically our prettiest state by far, and about how it's falling apart. Maybe that's right-wing spin, right? Yeah, no. Turns out they literally can't even keep the lights on in California. It's on fire and has no electricity. How'd that happen? We'll tell you after the break. Plus, 2020 Democrats are committed to confiscating your guns. Who will that hurt most? We'll explore that question just ahead.
I want to feel safe anywhere without a firearm, but especially here in Detroit.